Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm Maury and today we're taking a look at the wedding season in Animal Crossing New Horizons for 2022. This is not a guide as such, but we will be recapping everything you need to know, looking at what's brand new for this event, and most importantly checking out all of the changes for the wedding season this time around compared to previous years. Plus I'm taking this opportunity to show off my new wedding themed horned hat. If you want to get this, be sure to stick around until the end of the video. Anyway, the wedding season is a super fun event for new players, but there's actually quite a lot of new features this year too that helps change up this event even more, so also makes it fun to play through again if you've already experienced it. Now before we dive into these changes and new features, let's refresh our memories. The wedding season is an annual event that debuted in New Horizons just after launch and takes place for the entire month of June, running from June 1st and through to June 30th. This makes it the longest running event in the entire franchise, I think, and basically during this time we assist in celebrating Reese and Cyrus's wedding anniversary. To kickstart the wedding season, simply head to Harv's Island, where Reese and Cyrus actually spend all of their time now anyway, and you'll see them speaking with Harv and Harriet, discussing their celebration. They'll tell you everything you need to know, but in short, we as players are tasked with decorating the cabin in honour of Reese and Cyrus's wedding anniversary. The goal is to make the best interior design possible and snap a photo for Reese. Now the event does run for the entire month, but does progress slightly, offering different themes and unlocking new furniture each day you play, so there is a reason to come back and decorate for Reese and Cyrus multiple times. Plus there's some rare items you can unlock towards the end that we'll cover shortly. During the event, Cyrus hands out limited time wedding themed furniture that you can use to decorate the cabin with, and Reese rewards you with heart crystals. The better your interior design skills, or basically the more furniture you choose to use as long as it fits in with the theme, the happier Reese will be and the more heart crystals you can earn. Heart crystals are essentially a type of currency, so for the completionists out there, or those serious about collecting furniture, you can then use these heart crystals to buy more wedding themed furniture, and if you're anything like me, build an awesome wedding venue in your basement for some reason. In total there are 29 wedding items available through the event itself, which we won't go through now, but some of the noteworthy items include Reese and Cyrus's wedding plate, the wedding fence recipe, and the wedding wand recipe, which do require players to participate in the event for an entire week. So if this is your first wedding season event, at the very least you're going to want to play through the event 7 times. Now this is pretty much how the event played out since launch, but last year in the 1.10 update, a wedding themed seasonal event was added alongside the wedding season that introduced a bunch of wedding themed clothing items at the Able Sisters, as well as a whole bunch of newer wedding items from the Nook Stop. And I say a bunch because each one of these can of course be customized in a variety of ways. For example, the nuptial door plate has 3 variations and 3 patterns, meaning there's 9 possible versions of this item alone, but you get the idea. Anyway, thanks to the 2.0 update, that was of course the last major update to New Horizons and released like 6 months ago now, we are still seeing the effects of the new content that was added, and the wedding season is no exception, because a whole bunch of new features that was added in the 2.0 update through the Happy Home Paradise expansion DLC kind of changes the wedding season and offers even more decorating options and features. This is really awesome and actually adds even more depth to the event, which is great for new players of course, but also refreshing for players who have been here since launch. So let's take a look. Number 1. Partitions. Now thanks to Happy Home Paradise, there's a whole bunch of new features that were added in New Horizons that can of course be used during the wedding season that simply didn't exist during the first 2 iterations of the event. The first is of course partitions, which are truly game-changing items. Partitions are essentially sections of walls that you can place to divide up the room, creating more dynamic or interesting room shapes that adopt the wallpaper being used. Last year the best you could do is drop a simple panel, but now thanks to the 2.0 update we have actual walls we can use. These can even be used to create awesome window illusions when used with animated wallpapers, so it could really help change up the wedding venues this time around. Number 2, polishing. Now, a hugely underrated feature that was added courtesy of the DLC expansion is of course the polishing techniques feature. This allows you to polish pretty much every item in the entire game and adds a variety of different effects and finishes to them. Assuming you've unlocked the feature, simply press L to change into your polishing outfit and press plus to choose an effect. There's a whole bunch to choose from, but the heart effects especially are ideal for adding to a wedding themed room and things like the flower stands. Adding these kind of finishing touches adds another level of decorating that wasn't possible last year and really helps your photos pop. Number 3, sound effects. Moving on, another cool feature that we now have to play around with is of course soundscapes. If you open up the other decorating options, which I think is usually the window options, you can add soundscapes to your wedding venue, again creating a really immersive venue design. The best one to choose is probably the chatter soundscape if you're adding a bunch of villagers to Reese and Cyrus's wedding, because it makes it sound like everyone's talking, but depending on your design, you can choose whatever. If you were making it appear like Reese and Cyrus are getting married outside, for example, you could go with a forest or park soundscape. It's pretty cool. Now, as you'll probably notice, this menu also allows players to adjust the lighting and even the entrance this year, which is an entirely new mechanic. Of course, it's only a small detail, but still worth covering in case you missed it. Now, that pretty much covers all of the changes and new features that can be used during the wedding season this year, and honestly adds a lot to the event. But something I did want to cover quickly is Reese and Cyrus's role at Halves Island during the wedding season. As you know, Reese and Cyrus can of course be invited to set up a permanent shop on Halves Mini Archipelago, which can be used to customize items for bells and customize items that can't usually be customized at our own crafting benches. You'll be pleased to know the wedding season event and their shop feature don't affect each other in any way, and when you're at the cabin, Reese and Cyrus are in full-on wedding celebration mode, but when you're at the shopping area, you can still speak with them like normal and customize things at their shop. It's a little disappointing the two don't acknowledge each other. It could have made for some unique dialogue, but I'm just grateful they didn't close their store for an entire month, like when traveling characters are away visiting our main island. So there we have it. That's pretty much everything there is to know about the wedding season and all of the changes that affect the event in 2022. As promised, if you'd like to get a hold of this awesome wedding horned hat, here is the QR code. Despite regularly being accused of modding this game, to get these hats, they are in fact just QR codes generated on an Animal Crossing pattern website and are 100% legitimate items in the game. If you scan the QR code with your Nintendo Switch Online app, you can transfer it to New Horizons and save the design. So feel free to use this if you want a cool horned hat to go with the wedding outfits. It's pretty nostalgic and goes pretty well with the tuxedo, I think. But what do you think about the wedding season? And will you be using any of the Happy Home Paradise features when designing a wedding venue for Reese and Cyrus? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you made it to the end of the video, be sure to comment wedding just to let me know you did. And as always, thank you so much to the patrons and channel members for supporting this content. And until next time, have an amazing day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.